Assalamu alaikum, class 10th. Today we are going to start a new chapter, which is chapter number 16, Man and His Environment. So the topics included are related to the components of the ecosystem and the interactions which are being carried out in the ecosystem. So all the plus all the biogeochemical cycles, which are the important topics of this chapter. Okay, so the chapters will be topics will be few, and they are uh, selected this time. So we'll start the new chapter. Okay, because of the reduced syllabus, we are going to study only those topics which are included. So the components of ecosystem, actually there are two basic parts: abiotic components and biotic components. The abiotic components are the non-living factors, for example light, air, water, soil, etc., and the basic elements and compounds, for example carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, etc. The biotic components are the living organisms, for example us, and producers, consumers, and decomposers, plants and animals. So the producers are autotrophs, which are usually the plants, and they include algae also and photosynthetic bacteria also. These organisms are able to synthesize complex organic compounds from inorganic raw materials. Producers, they form the basic they form the basis of an ecosystem, because every cycle starts with the producers. In terrestrial ecosystems, if there are no producers, there will be no consumers and eventually no decomposers also. So plants are the main producers. The floating photosynthetic organisms are the algae, which are known as the phytoplankton, and shallow water rooted plants. So these are not like the primary consumers. The primary consumers will always be plants. The consumers are heterotrophs. They cannot synthesize their own food, and they depend upon the producers. So all the animals, the fungi, and the protozoans, and many bacteria, for example the disease causing bacteria and all the other bacteria, also most of the bacteria are consumers. They are not producers, they cannot produce their own food. And the examples are given. So they are classified as herbivores, carnivores, okay, and omnivores also. So then comes the primary consumers. The primary consumers, they feed on plants or products of plants. And primary then comes the secondary consumers, which feed on the herbivores. So primary consumers, the carnivores are also known as secondary consumers. For example fox, frog, predators, birds, and many fishes, they are the primary carnivores, or they are also known as secondary consumers. Now secondary carnivores are known as tertiary consumers. So they feed on the primary carnivores, for example wolf and owl. And tertiary carnivores are the lion, tiger, etc., who feed on the secondary carnivores. Okay, so this is a chain of ecosystem. Tertiary carnivores are not eaten by any other animals. They are also called top carnivores. For example lion and tigers, they are top carnivores and they are not eaten by any other animal. Now comes the decomposer, which are the most important part of an ecosystem. They break down the complex organic compounds of dead matter of plants and animals into simple compounds. They secrete the digestive enzymes into dead and decaying plant and animals remains to digest the organic material. After digestion, what happens is that the decomposers, they absorb the food. Actually, the food that is decomposed is the food is it acts as a food for the decomposers. Whatever is decomposed, they consume it and they absorb it. The remaining substances are added to the environment. Some of it is absorbed and some of it is added to the environment. Many types of bacteria and fungi are the principal decomposers of a biosphere. So all the decomposers are the bacteria and the fungi. Not all bacteria, but yes, some bacteria and fungi. Now see, this is a chain: primary carnivore, then secondary carnivore, and then comes the tertiary carnivore. Now comes the most important topic, which is the biogeochemical cycles. And the next topic after this is also very important. It is related to the relationship of organisms, which is actually the interactions of the organisms in the ecosystem. That is also very important. So actually, in the environment, the source of material for all living things, uh, in the environment has the source of energy for all the materials and for all the living things. So it provides us bioelements. What are bioelements? Carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and all these elements are present in the body of the organisms. These materials are recycled between organisms and environment. Biogeochemical cycles are the cyclic pathways through which, cyclic means it occurs in a cycle. The cycle ends and then the cycle starts again, from one environment to organisms and back to the environment. So uh, these are also known as nutrient cycles because these are actually the nutrients of the bodies of organisms. So carbon atom is the principal building block. Actually, carbon atom is the building block of many kinds of biomolecules. So as we all know that it is a very important component of our body also. So it is a biomolecule. Bio means life. So it is present in the living cells. Carbon is found as graphite and diamond in nature. It occurs as carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So see the different forms. It occurs in nature in the form of carbon dioxide, in the form of a gas, again in the form of diamond and graphite also. So it occurs in a very, very, very vast range, and it is present as biochemicals also in our body. Major source of carbon for the living world is carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere and water. So whatever carbon is present in the form of uh, carbon dioxide, it is whatever carbon is present, it is present in the form of carbon dioxide in atmosphere for us to use. Fossil fuels like peat, coal, natural gas, and petroleum also contain carbon, but we cannot use it for breathing. Okay, like we are not going to use it. It is not present in the air. The plants cannot use it. Okay, but when the carbonates of earth crust, they also give rise to carbon dioxide. In certain cases, yes, it gives rise to carbon dioxide. Okay. As we all know that photosynthesis is a very obvious process, and with the help of photosynthesis, the carbon dioxide is taken out, is taken from the atmosphere, and it is taken from the water, and then it becomes a part of the living world. As we all know that this carbon dioxide is becoming the part of the plants in by the process of photosynthesis. This carbon enters the food chain. So whatever carbon we consume is coming to us in the form of this, from this carbon which was present in the atmosphere. Now it is a part of the plants, and now if we consume it in the form of food, we are going to use that carbon. Understand? So and then it is converted into organic compounds. In our body, it is present in the form of organic compounds. And then this carbon enters the food chains and is passed to herbivores, then to the carnivores, and then to the decomposers. Carbon dioxide is released back to the environment. It is released back to the environment. How? By respiration of producers and consumers. See, always remember, plants do photosynthesis, and then they make it, then they make it as a part of the plants. But respiration also takes place, and this respiration of plants respire also. So the carbon dioxide is given back to the environment, and the respiration of animals also takes place, and then again carbon dioxide is given back to the environment. It is also released by the decomposition of organic waste and dead bodies of decomposers. See, same process is going on here. By the respiration, carbon dioxide is given and it is taken as a food, with the in case of fishes also. And this carbon dioxide is becoming a part of the water by dissolving, and then this plants which are present in the water are going to use that carbon dioxide with the help of photosynthesis. These fossil fuels here, when they are going to burn, what happens is that carbon dioxide is going to uh, released is going to release, and then it will become a part of the atmosphere. So this carbon is coming out of the earth crust also, and this carbon is now becoming a part of the atmosphere, and then again this carbon is becoming a part of the it's becoming a part of the food and plants, and it is going to get consumed. And then see here this part, when does the carbon go to the soil? When does it becomes the part of the fossil fuels? It becomes the part of the fossil fuel when the when the living organisms are going to die, and their bodies are decomposed with the help of decomposers. What are decomposers? Decomposers are the fungi and certain bacteria, like mostly all mostly most of the bacteria. Burning of wood and fossil fuel also adds large amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Okay, so this is the cycle of this is the carbon cycle, which is very simple, but this is a cyclic form, and this is a biogeochemical cycle, and we call it a nutrient cycle also. This is how carbon dioxide is going to get transported into the atmosphere.